هاي، شو لكم بخير مثل الكل. جيت اليوم باش نعمل لكم فيديو جديدة اللي هي book recommendations based off my favorite tropes. So if you're interested
هاي ان شاء الله تكونوا بخير الناس الكل. جيت اليوم باش نعمل لكم فيديو جديده اللي هي book recommendations based on my favorite tropes. If you're interested ننصحكم تعملوا قهوه and keep on watching. كالعادة حضرت حضرت الانسرز متاعي في البلوك نوت باش ما ننساش لا اسم الاوثرز لا اسم الكتاب كما العادة نعمل. And yeah, I just wanted to start. برشا mentions are going to be Rina Kant's books. So if you're going to read Rina Kant, please, I highly encourage you انكم تقراو by order. Like you can Google it and read Rina's books by order, and believe me, they deserve it. They deserve it. بالرسمي معناها. So yeah, other thing, those tropes are not my only favorite tropes. أما the tropes اللي نجمت لقيت فيهم معناها book recommendations which made me reflect on myself. خاطر فما معناها some of my favorite tropes لقيت روحي مش قارية فيهم برشا كتب، donc I need to work on that next time. So yeah, اوكا توا وليت عارفة حتى كي نبدا نقول يا ربي شنو نقرا next, I know what to read next. So I'm going to start with the most famous trope اللي هي enemies to lovers. هنا it's going to be enemy slash bully slash stalker romance. Yes, those exist. I did not know they exist until recently. So أول كتاب باش نحكي عليه هو God of Malice by Rina Kant. And please please when you start reading the book, don't judge Killian. Please don't judge Killian. I remember وقت اللي شيماء she recommended me this book. She was like, don't judge my baby, and I was like, okay. And yeah, don't judge him, don't push through it, and it's going to be awesome afterward. So God of Malice, it follows the story of Killian Carson. تنحط لكم الكفر متاع his parents book هنايا اللي هما his parents Serena and Asher Carson, and Glendon her parents are Astrid and Levi. ظهر لي parents book اسمه Cruel King. So yeah, next generation, so both are the son and daughter of those, and it follows كما قلت لكم story متاعهم مزوز. They met on a cliff, literally. Glendon, she was having a hard time. She just lost a friend, and she was depressed and she was sad, and she went to the sad cliff when the friend, he committed suicide, and it's going to be her first interaction with Killian, and ever since he's going to be obsessed with her. He's going to stalk her, to bully her, and he's like on a mission to go after her. And it was really nice to read. لهنا you have to check your trigger warnings. I highly recommend you to do that. And also هنايا Killian, he's a psychopath, like clinically approved psychopath. So you need to not judge him. Yeah, you really need to not judge him. Also another thing, I used to وقت اللي نقرا this kind of books, I judge myself, like not the book. I judge myself. Why am I enjoying this? Why am I liking this? But yeah, I need therapy. But no, loving this in books doesn't mean I'm condoning this in real life. Like hell no. So let us put this like in there. So yeah, second book is going to be God of Ruin by Rina Kant also, and it follows the story of Landon and Mia. Mia, she's the daughter of Fry and Hunter. Again, I'm going to try to put the cover of the parents. If you want to read the book, again, I highly recommend انكم تقراوا in chronological order. هكاكا you're going to enjoy the experience more. خاطر we have chapters of the parents which is amazing. It's like meeting an old friend, like, and enjoying this. So I highly recommend انكم تقراوا in a chronological order. So there's Mia, اللي هي she's a mafia princess, and Landon اللي هو again Glendon's brother, with Astrid and Levi, and he's a narcissist he's a psychopath and he's an anarchist. عرفته كلي he's also always planning and scheming and yeah, this type of person. The thing about Mia and London, which is different from the other books, Mia, she's a mute. She's a selective mute. She had a trauma when she was a child, and since then she hasn't spoken a word. She speaks the sign language, and she caught the eye of Landon while he was like doing something to Killian, like Glendon's boyfriend, and she was like, why is he doing this? And she stood up to him, and he was like, interesting, and he was interested in her, and he's going to pursue her. Again, check your trigger warnings. I didn't love it as much as I loved God of Wrath, which I'm going to mention it now, or God of Malice, but it was good nonetheless. It was entertaining and I enjoyed it. Next we have God of Wrath, which I'm currently rereading. I'm 48% in my reread, and that says something. And so it follows the story of Jeremy, اللي هو Adrien and Leah's son. I'm going to put again the cover of the parents book اللي هي trilogy, and Cicely, which is the daughter of Kimberly and Xander from Black Knight, if I remember correctly. And yeah, one of my favorite books, the parents books, I mean, like I loved Kimberly and Xander, and I loved Leah and Adrian. And again, Jeremy, he's a mafia prince. Actually, she's studying to be a psychologist, and she's into manga, and she has this silver hair. She's like special from the other like characters. I loved her so much. So basically, Cicely, she has a crush on London, which we were talking about earlier, and she caught the eye of Jeremy خاطر هما they're rivals معناها. So they're rivals. Donc عنا الهيدنز اللي هما الكلوب متاع the American students اللي هو الليدر بتاعهم هو جيريمي, and then we have Nikolai, we have Killian, we have Gareth, we have all the kids اللي هما معاه, and we have the
RSU Royal Elite University REU
اللي هو الكلوب اللي هو الليدر بتاعه هو لندن the anarchist. So الهيدنز يعملوا initiation مرة في العام اللي هو to add members to the club متاعهم, and London بعث Cicely to spy on the cameras and all to معناها تعطيه الانفورميشنز اللي هو حاجته بيهم وكل شيء, and she went. And Jeremy, he knew her, like she was discussed كل ما عرفها, and he was like obsessed, like why are you here? And she was like, I was curious, and he was like, yeah, you're lying, I need to know the truth. And then something caught his eye اللي هو the zoning out of Cicely, اللي تبدأ معناها she's like talking or speaking or هكا قاعدة مع الجروب مع أصحابها وكل, and suddenly she's zoning out كلي literally كلي ما عادش تسمع, كلي تبدأ هكا seeing through them وكل شيء. And he has something with that because his mother suffered from the same thing, the dissociative personality, the zoning out. معناها it was traumatic for him, surtout وقت اللي ليا معناها she went through all this stuff. Jeremy was really a kid وقتها, and that traumatized him. So when he saw that in Cicely, he was obsessed, like I need to know what's happening. And oh my god, I loved that. He was like, artificially he's trying to help her and he's hacking into her phone. Saying that feels weird. Again, I'm not condoning this in real life, like hell no, but again in a book it was like cute. It was cute, like he was stalking her, following her, hacking into her phone, into her computer, into her room, seeing what she reads, what she likes, what she dislikes. Like he wanted to get into her life. Like he was not taking note for an answer. It's not like she was saying no. but it was something. It was interesting, and I loved how he was like on a mission to know what happened to her, to that traumatized her, so she would dissociate, or because she suffers from sleep paralysis, dissociative personality, zoning out, and all this shit. So he was like, he wanted to know what happened, and oh my god, how he knew what happened was everything. It was everything. So yeah, I highly recommend انكم تقراو God of Wrath if you want. Next books again by Rina Kant, اللي هما تريلوجي، اللي هي أول تريلوجي معناها كنت تحبوا تبدأوا بها، اللي هي Deviant King, Steel Princess, Twisted Kingdom, again by Rina Kant. هنا we're going to meet Adrian and Elsa, and oh, this book I reread it this year. لما حالة قريتهم عمني ولا قلت عمني ولا ما عودت قريتهم السنة. So basically we're following Elsa اللي هي we know اللي she lost her parents when she was a kid. ما نعرفوش كيفاش، ما نعرفوش علاش، ما تعرف هي بيدا حد شيء. And she's living with her aunt and uncle, and قيدوها في Royal Elite School اللي هي this like private school اللي هي معناها something. Donc and she has a heart condition, like we don't know exactly what, but she had heart surgery. And yeah, the first day of school she's going to go to school, and Aiden اللي هو the famous boy like in the school اللي هو he's ruthless, and you know the drill. And he sees her like literally on her first day in school, and he was like, I'm going to ruin you, like you're dead. She was like, what the hell, what did I do? I don't even know you. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to ruin you. And he wasn't he isn't going to ruin her obviously, but he was like on a mission. Like he was stalking her, he was like inserting himself in her life. But بيان سور بعد نعرفوا علاش وكيفاش، خاطر فما برشا تويست، برشا فازات صاروا، برشا حاجات from the past اللي we didn't know about until later on the books. But I highly recommend انكم تقراو الكتاب هذايا، خاطر بالرسمي it was amazing. 3 books went like poof معناها I did not see them going, like قريتهم في ساعة من با فقت بروحي معناها كيك عملت. كل كتاب يوفي في كليف هانجر until the third book. So كان باش تقراهم حطوا في بالكم اللي ماذا بكم تقراهم الثلاثة مع بعضهم باش ما تقعدوش معناها فك الكليف هانجر وكل شيء. So next book اللي مزلنا في enemies to lovers trope, it's going to be Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. This book I remember قريته لي عامين, and oh my god, the feeling اللي it gave me, it was something. So it's about a girl في high school and a boy in high school, like her schoolmate I think, and he's like the outcast of the school. He's like the bad boy, always like wearing his hoodie, he doesn't talk to people, he's like silent and everything in between. And she has like this problem in her I forgot خاطر قلت لك ما عندي برشا من قريته، اما she had like trauma. I remember اللي she had like this guilt انها she did something bad. تعرفوا شنو هو كي تقراو الكتاب. I remember it اما ما نحبش نقوله لكم خاطر I think you're going to enjoy it more كي تعرفوه وحدكم نتوما تقراو. She did something معناها unintentional when she was a kid, which led to losing both her parents, and she's living with her sister, and her sister kind of hate her. I don't want to say hate her, kind of hate her and blaming her for what happened, and she's living with that guilt. So تقرأ في الليسي هذيا وين باش تقابل الولاد هذيا معناها هما ما يحكيوش معناها في المكتب وكل شيء. تقابلوا ديجا ظهر لي في freshman year if I remember correctly. And then every time and then one time she was going into she was on a mission. She went to commit suicide. She went to the rooftop of the school and she wanted to jump. And when she went there she saw the sad kid هذايا غادي كزدا and he was going to do the same thing. He was going to commit suicide. And she was like, no, don't do it. And he was like, what are you doing here? And she was like, I think I was going to do the same thing that you're doing. And they bonded over that. And then they made a pact انهم ما همش باش يكونوا صحاب، ما همش باش يحكوا مع بعضهم، ما همش باش يتكلموا معناها في المكتب معني في الليسي they're going to be like كأنهم ما يعرفوش بعضهم جملة، ما يحكوش مع بعضهم جملة، معناها strangers. But every هما تقابلوا في الفالنتاينز داي معناها دونك تفهموا كل لو 14 فيفريي يعاودوا they check on them on their on بعضهم في السيت ديت في الروف توب هذاك. دونك تفهموا كل 14 فيفريي يجيو للروف توب هذاك to check on each other both of them باش حتى واحد فيهم لا يعمل something stupid. وكان الارج جات هكا قويه باش واحد منهم he wanted to commit suicide. Again check your trigger warnings before reading the book. They contact the other person. So تفهموا هكيكا ووليت لهم كيما الهابت انهم كل مره معناها مره في العام هذيك النهار اللي يتقابلوا فيه هو يقول لها penny for your thoughts ويبعث لها بيني معناها هكا يرميهولها وهي تجيب كارت كيك ويجيب لها كارت كيك for her birthday خاطر it's her birthday النهار هذيك. دونك قعدوا هكيكا معناها pendant des années كل عام يتقابلوا غاديكا فكل الصح هذيك ويقعدوا يحكيوا exchanging updates and thoughts and everything and nothing like هكيكا. And oh my god their bond was something special. هذا كرة أول كتاب it's not about them the story until one day she was going to معناها النهار هذيك بيدو اللي باش يعاودوا يتقابلوا فيه مرة في العام. she was هكا هي النهار هذيك it's special for her تبدا محضرة روحها فرحانة و she's excited about it to go وكل شيء. دونك بعثتها اختها بالصدفه نهارتها باش تمشي تشري لها حاجه من الجروسري ستور. she was like مش وقته and she was like no you're going معناها برا امشي خذ لي ودرا شنو. and ما مشيت للجروسري ستور رجعت لدارهم مدت لاختها القضيه وكل وصلت لغاديكا and she saw the police cars and the ambulance and she only saw the penny on the ground and she knew he committed suicide. And oh my god that broke my heart. I remember I was like no please tell me he didn't die, please tell me it's a joke man, he's going to be alive or something. But yeah, he committed suicide and the journey begins after he died. She's going to try to هو خلالها a letter and he was like he left a book كتاب اسمه Darling Venom اللي هو التايتل متاع الكتاب Darling Venom and it's kind of the story about her and he wanted her to publish the story خاطر هي she's into reading وكل شيء and he was like yeah I want you to publish my book. And she went to his house and she's going to meet his brother. The love interest is going to be his brother, like his bigger brother, and the journey of grieving him, like his death. Both her and his brother, and I love that book. So basically his brother he's going to hate her. علاش حطيته في enemies to lover. He's going to hate her and he's going to blame her like how could you معناها you knew he has like the suicidal thoughts, how could you not tell me about it or reaching out or something. And she was like I told the school counselor and he didn't take me seriously and he was like you should have come to me, you should have talked to me. And she تقرأ تعرف الحكاية مش نحكي لكم الكتاب الكل أما لي it's basically حكيت لكم جوست الأول متاع الكتاب خاطر بعد تفهموا شنو اللي صار وكل شيء. Basically the next series I'm going to talk about هما the After series by Anna Todd which I love by the way. And I remember the first book After قريته وقتها I had COVID. I was alone like كونفيني. كل بريد هذيك لا يعاودها والله. أما I started at 7 متاع العشية I finished at 7 ليه I started at 7 متاع الصباح I finished at 7 متاع الصباح متاع غدوة. like I spent literally 24 hours like reading the whole thing. I loved it. I read the whole series مش the first book and oh my god it was عرفت كلي عندها a special place in my heart since هكا معناها it kept me company in a hard time kind of. أما keep in mind إنهم راهم الكابل أو قلت لكم we're going to meet Tessa and Harden and they're so toxic. Like at some point I was like get it together, like dude get it together. So yeah, it's so toxic. Like check her trigger warnings. If you're not into this kind of books, don't read it. أما I highly recommend if you're enjoying this type of books وكل شيء. It's like the best. خاطر برشا ديجا معناها عبيد أنا بيجي it was my first the first book اللي opened the doors for me for هكا dark romance this kind of كما تبا نحكيو على tropes هذيما كل شيء that made me realize that there's more into it than just fluffy romances or rom-coms or contemporary romance وكل شيء. So yeah, basically قلت لكم we're going to follow Harden اللي هو his
an Englishman in New York. He's not in New York, God. He's in Seattle. He's in Washington. Someplace in Washington.
She's living there and Tessa she just went to college and she's going to meet her new roommate اللي هي Stephanie I think I forgot حسيلو she's going to meet her new roommate اللي she was all piercings and tattoos وكله Tessa she's like the good girl like entre guillemets. And her mom she was like judging and she was like no you're changing dorms and the mom she was like livid and then Tessa she was like no كل وهي she has her boyfriend اللي هو نوا اللي هو زيدا هو a good kid وكل شيء هو مازال في his senior year in high school. So she was like I don't care, like I'm only here to study and go to school and that's it. She's not going to bother me وكل شيء. Steph she seemed هكا nice وكل شيء and she was like هكا welcoming towards Tessa وكل شيء. So yeah, basically Tessa, Steph, the roomie, she was like inviting Tessa to a party and Tessa she was like no I don't want to go. At some point Steph she was like you're coming, come on just have a little bit of fun وكل شيء and I promise we're going to go back like to the dorms early وكل شيء and Tessa she was like okay let's go and they went and at some point she's going to lose Steph. She went with her boyfriend and she couldn't get back to the dorms and she was stuck there and she was like crying in the bathroom and she's going to meet Harden for the first time. مش for the first time, they met in her dorms and he was like condescending towards her. He was judging her عرفت خاطر هو في مخه she was judging him for his tattoos و piercings وكل شيء. surtout إنه her mom she was openly judging him وكل شيء and he was like حسيلو أي قاعدين يلعبوا في truth or dare وكل شيء and she was like this is so childish because they were like playing the game هكا like with insinuations and stuff and she was like I'm not playing and she went like upstairs and she ended up in a room like فيها bibliothèque وكتب وكل and she was like reading some هكا quotes from Wuthering Heights and he went in and he was like why are you in my room and why are you reading my book and she was like you read and he was like yeah I do and she was like shocked and oh my god I love books اللي فيهم معناها one of the characters اللي هو his reader ولا she's a reader and I love books اللي فيهم المنشن متاع other books كما في after فما برشا منشن Wuthering Heights خاطر Heathcliff and Elizabeth they had this like toxic like toxic but عرفتوا الباشن وكل شيء relationship and it kind of كيما Tess and Harden and so basically he was like condescending towards her and he was like acting like an asshole towards her and she was like okay I'm done, like I'm really done, I'm going to the dorms and I don't want anything to do with you guys anymore. And then again he's going to meet her he's going to meet her again in the coffee shop and he was like I can't stay away from you, like Steph is my best friend and she's your roommate, we're going to meet وكل شيء, let's just be friends and see how it goes وكل. And she was like okay and yeah, stuff they're going to happen from there and yeah, he's going to do something really bad. Again, I'm not condoning this in real life, I didn't even condone it in the book La Mahala. It was disgusting, but I enjoyed the book nonetheless, like, to be honest, because yeah, afterwards, like moving on from that specific event, Harden he's Harden like he's Harden. And please don't watch the movies because the movies are so bad, like really so bad. عنا trope آخر اللي هو Grumpy versus Sunshine اللي هو basically وقت اللي يبدأ one of the characters Grumpy, like he doesn't smile ولا she doesn't smile, always like serious and stuff, and the opposite other they're like sunshiny وكل شيء. So أول كتاب جاي لبالي وقت اللي عالتروبة دي هو The Finisher by Ronix. Oh my god that book. So basically we have Alpha اللي هو he's like this big shot, مش مافيا خاطر في تنجموا تقولوا مافيا, حسيلو he's like this badass, like kind of something mafia something, and everyone he's like scared of him, and he always participate in the boxings, مش boxing كيما UFC عرفتوا battles وكل شيء, and in one of his like games نجم نقولوا حسيلو one of his matches or something, she's going to see him, and Zephyr هي اسمها Zephyr, she's like I loved the mention انها she's overweight, she's not like your typical girl, like she's pretty and she's overweight هكا شوية, she's like it feels relatable ساعات كي تلقى personage في الكتاب هكا relatable. So and she's like she has this bright pink hair, and she saw him and she was like, we know at least she knew him, he didn't know her, and she went to him and she hugged him and she was like oh my god, and he was like what's happening, and yeah, he was like دركي فيش معناها he was like shocked or something, what is she doing, and نعرف زيدا اللي هي she just caught her boyfriend cheating on her, like just caught him cheating on her, and she saw the said Alpha, and she was like hugging him, and he was like okay, and then he went and she went on her way, and then she's going to stalk him. She's going to stop where he works, and she's going to go to his office, and she was like yeah okay, I need to propose to you mania something, and he was like what is it, and she was like what about we get married, and he was like what, and she was like I want to marry you, and he was like what. So قالها why would I marry you, and she was like I'm a good cook, I'm funny, حسيلو she was like kind of selling herself to him, like why he should marry her. It was so funny, and she's going to Stockholm, like every day she's going to go to his office. للي ولت like routine بالنسبة لي, ولا كما نقولوا كل نهار, وهي تخدم she's a hairdresser, دونك تكمل الخدمة تمشي تعدله ديريكت للخدمة متاعو للبيرو متاعو. حتى his bodyguards وكل ولاو يعرفوها وكل and كل يوم تمشي له. ليلي ولت like روتين بالنسبة لي. كل نهار اللي ما مشيت she was like where is she, why didn't she come وكل شيء. حاسي له it's a marriage of convenience. He's going to end up marrying her but we're going to know why and how and what's happening and how does she know him, like خاطر كيراتو نعرفوا اللي هي عقلته و she's like on a mission to make him remember her. So yeah, I really love that book. She deals with depression and she's like يعيطلها rainbow déjà. I love the nickname. يعيطلها rainbow. ديما she changed her hair color like this bright colors like green and pink and blue and everything in between, and she's a ray of sunshine and yeah, I really loved that book اللي هو The Finisher by Ronix. Next we have Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. الكتابة دي دجا عمل بوز على الآخر في البوك توك في بالي. I read it a while ago so I forgot the details of it. I remember اللي he was like the outcast of the town. He was mute, he didn't speak and everyone was like fearful of him. They didn't talk to him. وهي she just moved into the town and she was like her bubbly self and people they were like خد بالك منه ما تكلموش ما تدورش بيه راهو he's dangerous, and she was like why would he be dangerous. And they had the first encounter and he was like kind of nice to her and she was like interesting, and she's going to stalk him and she's going to start they're going to have a friendship together and then they're going to fall in love. It was a really good read. Like I remember I had fun reading it. The book is going to be like the famous book اللي هو Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. اللي هو basically للعبيد اللي ما تفرجتش في الفيلم ولا ما قرأتش الكتاب. It follows main character اللي هو he's quadriplegic and his mom, his parents, they're going to hire her, like the female main character, to be his مش nurse she's going to take care of him and being his companion, like تتلهي بيه تعطيه دواء وكل شيء. And she's like this bubbly personality and he's like a grump, but it's a sad ending, so check your trigger warnings again before reading the book. I wish someone told me about the book before reading it because I remember the ending just broke my heart. Next book is going to be The Right Move by Liz Stamford. Again, we're going to meet the male character اللي هو he's going to be the grump. He's like this big shot like basketball player. He's like so famous. شي لقبه شي شو اسمه هو؟ نسيت اسمه. Oh my god, I forgot his name. I remember his last name though اللي هو شي. And she's Indigo اسمها Indy. هي his sister's best friend. So هي تخدم مع أخته and she's like her best friend, and she was like homeless because she got her boyfriend of 6 years cheating on her, and they were living together. So basically she was homeless, and she didn't have anywhere to live وكل شيء. And he has this big apartment وكل شيء اللي أخته كانت تعيش معاه, but she moved in with her boyfriend اللي هما from high mile. كلمة ما قريتوش الكتاب أقراوه والله. حتى هو ينجم يجي Grumpy versus Sunshine خاطر هو he's so sunshine. she's not a grump per se, أما هو he's so sunshine, he's so funny. So she moved in, the sister with the boyfriend. So قالت له تيا عندك بيت فارغة في الابارتمون تاعك, علاش ما تجيش انتي تعيش معاك. And he was like no thank you. She was like please like help her out like for me وكل شيء. And he was like okay. And هو معناها شيء he's so organized, like he's so هكا meticulous and organized and منظم, and البيبليوتيك متاعه مقسمة معناها بالالفابي وبعد بالcolors وبعد you know the type. And imagine هيز شوك وقت اللي تخلى الابارتمنت متاعو يلقى الصالة كلها بتبش هكا اخوها على ابوه، عند المكتبة اللي هي كانت منظمة مش نورمال ولا فيها like colorful covers وكل شيء. And he was like, what happened to my apartment? And he was like, hell no. She was like, no, I didn't expect you to be home like this early. I was planning on organizing everything in advance وكل شيء. حسيلو they're going to live together and she's so funny. and she's so funny. she's شو اسمه artist de l'air, flight attendant. and هو كما قلت لكم he's like a brick shot basketball player. so ديما عندهم معناها هو ساعات يبدا animation وهي ساعات تبدا animation وما يتقابلوش ديما كل شيء. اما when they do هكا كل يعملوا الروتين نتاعهم مع بعضهم كيفاش he always prepares her like iced coffee because she loves her coffee iced. and he was like even in winter قالت له I can like wear نلبس الجواند ويت and I'm holding my iced coffee like I don't care. so ديما he brought the coffee in advance and put it on the fridge for her like to be cool وقت اللي هي تقوم. he was like so attentive and oh my god that was so funny. قلت لكم هو يقرأ يسرك الديفلوبمون بيرسونيل وكل شيء. and at some point he was like, why is there naked chest man on my bookshelves? And she was like, those are my books, my romance books. and he was like, what are you reading? and then at some point I loved again I love actually one of the characters is a reader. so she was like they're going to fake date by the way. عاد مرة الأولى هي ما تحبش كل شيء. بعد she's like okay you need to be like my book boyfriends. and he was like how is that? قالت له can you growl? and he was like what? and then she was like can you darken your eyes? and he was like what? and then he was like what the hell are you reading? It was so funny. I swear it was so funny when you read the book. The last book of the Grumpy versus Sunshine trope, we're going to have the difference between high and low by Brittany C. Sherry. I love that book. I read it a while ago and I have this urge to reread it. It's like Grumpy versus Sunshine and friends to lovers. هي كانت تخدم كاسير في سوبر مارشي. and he was like so poor اللي at some point he didn't have like he thought he didn't have enough money to pay for the groceries. so he was like take this out and they were like necessities like bread and milk. and she was like it's okay take them I'm going to pay them. and he was like I remember the details. he was like he was Hashim. he was like okay خاطر he needed to take those to his mom. and since then they're going to be friends like they're going to become friends. I think he's going to pay her back or something. and she's like an aspiring musician. she wanted to be like this famous musician or something. Hasilu, I love that book. He was the grump, she was the sunshine, and I love their relationship. They're going hardly, if I remember correctly, they're going to be like a separation, but yeah, it's worth it. I love Brittany C. Sherry's books, by the way. The last trope we're going to talk about is friends to lovers. اللي هي like the safe bet for new romance readers. so أول كتاب باش نحكي عليه هو The Deal by Al Kennedy, one of my favorites. so basically The Deal follows the story of Garrett Graham اللي هو he's like the hockey team captain. and في البراير يونيفرسيتي عاملين like this thing انه باش الاثليتس وكل ما يتيحوش في المعادلات نتاعهم فما كيما نقولوا مينيموم يتيح عليه يخرج من ليكيب ديريكتومون. وهو معناها لي نوت نتاعو ليميت اما معناها طاح برشا كيما نقولوا في الفلسفه. دونك he needs to upgrade his grades باش ينجم يقعد في التيم. خاطر الكوتش عطاه فرصه معناها قال له لازمك تحسن في لي نوت نتاعك سينو راك باش نخرجك من التيم على غالب those are the rules. كلهم surprised وقت اللي رجع لهم البروف لي نوت and he had like an F and some girl she had an A اللي هي هانا ويلز اللي هي تقرأ موسيقى and he stalked her and he was like literally following her and he was like hey I need your help and she was like do I know you? And he was like yeah I need you to tutor me and she was like no thank you I'm not interested and he was like do you know who I am and you need to know Ellie Garrett Graham he's like his narcissistic self but in a really good way you love his narcissism if that's even a word راهو يقتل بالضحك he's like so funny and he's like full of himself but in the best way possible he was like do you know who I am قالت له do you know who I am قالها I'm going to and she was like I by the way yes I know who you are Garrett Graham and who I am and he was like وبدي هكا يسمي like اسمي غلطين and she was like yeah nice try Hannah Wells and he was like okay I want you to tutor me and she was like no I don't have the time I'm so sorry I can't and he's going to stalk her like وين تخدم in a restaurant outside of the music department وين تتلفت باش تلقاه قدامها and he's like I'm not taking note for an answer and there's one part اللي it was so funny وقت اللي he was like trying to remember her name like I need this girl to tutor me and he was like what her name and her name literally Hannah and he's like it's with a name Mary Beth or something بداو يسمي اسامي غلطين like not even close to her name like تلمو he's like so full of himself so في الاخر she's going to باش يعملوا a deal hence the name معناها the deal she had a crush on this boy in school and he was like okay I noticed you have a thing for him I'm going to help you like to upgrade your social life so he would notice you and en contrepartie you need to tutor me and she was like okay deal like let's do this so it's going to start like France and then lovers like France to lovers and she had a trauma like from her high school years she had a trauma and I loved how Al-Kennedy dealt with the trauma like she didn't just pass through it but she dealt with it and I loved how Garrett he was there for her like he was like trying to help her and to be there for her even before she tell him like really what happened because المرة الأولى ما يعرفش حتى شنو اللي صار اللي خليها هكيك الكل she doesn't trust people وكل شيء and he's going to know why معناها eventually she's going to tell him وكل شيء next book اللي هو في France to lovers is going to be Shinjinko
It's been a while since I've been talking, so excuse the blabbering.
It's Changing Course by Ali Martinez. الكابل هنا هما جيس and Brett هو he's a detective and he had a trauma from the beginning of the book اللي هو و his partner both are detectives البارتنرز متاعهم اللي هو معناها خطيبته مرتو he was married مرتو and خطيبة detective friend متاعو they're going to get into an accident the fiancé of his partner she's going to die and his wife he's going to lose her let me put it this way he's going to lose her so in the meanwhile he's going to go through like grieving and he was like not ready to like start something new or something whatsoever and he has his daily routine انه مش daily routine حاسلو he has a routine انه كل مرة يمشي to a coffee house to have his breakfast وين تخدم جاس البطلة متاع الكتاب and she has a major crush on him like basically she has a major crush on him and she's like suffering from a low self-esteem, and she was like, okay, to hell with it, I'm going to ask him out. Like it was a big thing for her, like for her to ask him out, and she's going to ask him out and he's going to refuse. And she was like overwhelmed by his refusal, and she was like sad. And then his best friend, his partner, he was like, dude, he always come to this coffee shop وقتهم بعيد علينا على الخدمة على الآخر just to see you. Like, don't take his no for an answer, and like keep on pursuing him. And he's going to try to convince هو معناها the partner, his best friend, to like, you need to move on, like go ask her out. Like she was so disappointed وكل شيء. And he's going to call her and he's like, yeah, okay, let's go out, like let's do this وكل شيء. It was a really good read. I remember اللي I enjoyed it على الآخر. فما twists and turns في الكتاب, but it's محلي على الآخر. So I highly recommend إنكم تقرأوها if you're in the mood for something هكا في هكا شوية مش tragic but sad kind of, but yeah, highly recommend. Then I'm going to mention like the best friends to lovers ever existed, I think, اللي هو The Emperor by Runix. So في الكتاب بتاع The Emperor it's going to be Dante and Amara. Dante and Amara it's like childhood friends, two lovers. So basically we're going to meet them since they were kids, like literally. So Dante is like the mafia prince, let's say, like kind of mafia prince, and Amara, she's like the servant's daughter, like أمها تخدم في دار Dante. And his dad, Dante's dad, he's like such an asshole. So we're going to follow the relationship of Amara and Dante since they were kids. كيفاش كانوا strangers, كيفاش she caught his eye like for the first time, and then at 16 she's going to have like trauma, something bad, really bad is going to happen to her, and he's going to be there for her. Oh my god, it's like mind blown. كيفاش هي فما كود في الكتاب يقول when it's raining we stay in and watch movies, and when it's sunshine I take her out and we sit in silence, like this kind of relationship. So yeah, I loved it على الآخر. Their relationship was like so هكا magical or something. I loved it على الآخر. So yeah, I highly recommend إنكم تقرأوا The Emperor by هي series معناها. I encourage you to read it in order because like it's so worth it. So we have the Reaper, the Predator, and then the Emperor, بعد the Finisher, بعد the Annihilator, and the last book is going to be released, finger crossed, in 2024 اللي هو The Syndicator اللي هو it's going to يلم الكابلز الكل في الكتاب. Highly recommend إنكم تقرأوا series by order, though it's in third person. I don't read third person. You don't feel like it. You feel like you're in the head of the characters. So yeah, don't let that like discourage you or something. Like highly recommend إنكم تقرأوها. So yeah, that's going to be basically it for today. I don't know how long it's going to be. Let me know if you prefer like short versions or longer version of the videos, because I personally I enjoy like longer videos. It's like kind of هكا كأني نتفرج في série ولا فيلم ولا someone blabbering to me while I'm like eating or like doing something or whatever. So yeah, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye.